Hey everybody! So, you can tell today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's kind of got a mess around here. This is Laura with Untitled Typewriters. And we are going to do a tutorial video on a 1972 Smith Corona Sterling. But I decided to do something just a little bit different because I was cleaning this. I had the bottom off and was up inside cleaning, and I thought that you might want to know how to get inside in case, which this happens, you drop an eraser, a pencil, or something down inside of there and you need to get it out. So I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but I'm just gonna flip this up. And you can see I have the bottom open, and I was just getting out some of the junk that accumulates, pencil erasers and stuff like that can accumulate, or pencil shred things that can accumulate as you're typing, and dust and hair and stuff like that. And I see one more piece of dirt in there that I need to grab, which I'll do here in a second. But while I have this open, I'm going to show you, here is your serial number right there, and then you can look it up. Now, if you don't know how to operate, or if you're not mechanically minded, pretty much just leave everything in here alone. I don't know how to repair typewriters. That's my husband, but I do use like a paintbrush and mineral spirits, and I'll go in and clean out dirt, you know, like this. In fact, there's a piece up here that's kind of stuck, and so I'm gonna try to either push that through to the other side. There we go. I'll get it popped up through the other side. Actually, it just dropped right there. Voila. That's where these come in handy. So while I don't know how to repair typewriters, this is what I do when I clean. I use mineral spirits. I use, and Rob does some other cleaning too, but when I'm detailing, and I'll use paintbrushes, and I use Q-tips. And I just kind of go in and get as much of the dust and the hair out that I can, okay? And then to put this back on, I'm going to show you. So you'll see two spots right here, and that is for your little screwdrivers. But to get that, you have to put this end in first. And the way that works is, oops, you'll see some grease there. You'll see these two half moons, these two cutouts, one here, one here. That fits over these screws that are at the back of your typewriter. And, oops, darn it, there's just some grease or something around them, and so I'm just gonna clear that off. I need to find my towel. I walked off with it. And you just set them right there, kind of pop it down, and then your handy dandy screwdriver, you just screw these back in, and that's all you do. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then I will meet you on the other side. Okay, so I've got the bottom put back on, and I was starting to type, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do a tutorial, and then I'll move into the actual typing demo, and the link for that will be in the description below. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is a 1972 Smith Corona Sterling, and this one we've painted, so this is not the original color the keyboard is. And you'll see that this particular keyboard has some yellowing, and that's fairly common. These typewriters are old. So this one's 49 years old. And so that's to be expected, yellowing a little bit, especially on the whites. Okay, up here is your carriage, and I'm gonna take this paper out. So your paper goes right along here. This is how you set your margins. Everything is manual. And if you want to know more about us, my name again is Laura, and I'm with Jot and Tittle Vintage Typewriters. And if you go to our website, jotandtittletypewriters.com, you can find out a little bit more about us and what we do. So margins, carriage to release this carriage so you can move it back and forth. There's a handle on each side. It doesn't matter which side. You just pull it in. That bell should ding when it hits the margin. And what that is, it's saying, hey, you're at the end of your margin. There's only a few spaces left before we stop. And it stops on you, so you can't type or anything. And if you go down here to MR, that's margin release. That'll release that margin, and then you can keep going. Or you can hit the return handle and go back to the beginning. Now you'll notice here there's a 1, 2, and 3 on your typewriter. That means this is your line selector. So one space, single spacing, double spacing, triple space. When you hit that return handle, it's going to advance 1, 2, or 3 lines. You saw me pull this forward earlier. That is a paper release. So if you need to straighten out your paper, or like I did, take it out, you just pull that forward, and that releases the tension on the paper. Make sure you re-engage it. This metal bar should sit on top of your paper, so it's nice and taut against this roller, okay? Now I'm gonna move this carriage over to the left before I open up the top. And one of the reasons that we have to paint some of our typewriters is because people forget to move their carriage, and then this handle scrapes the paint on their typewriter. So it's very common to find scratches right around here, either this way or this way on the cover. So you just pull this cover forward. Inside, you'll see the ribbon, and when I was cleaning, it popped out. So I'm gonna just put that right back in there. When you change your ribbon, make sure black is on top, red is on bottom. There is an up-close photo of this, and if you click the product listing link down in that description, that'll show you photos of this, plus it'll also have the link to that typing demo that I mentioned earlier. And then you can save that photo or bookmark it, whatever you want. That is just a good reference so that when you change your ribbon and all you do is pop them out like this and then unthread them, you'll need to make sure it's threaded properly, so you'll just have to look up closely to see how that is threaded. And then you just pop it back in. Now there's a little pin that sticks up, and that pin has to go in one of those 4 circles. So you may have to just kind of, there you go, jiggle it around before it pops back down in there. And then make sure that ribbon, oops, gets in, okay? Now, when you get to the end of your spool, it's not the end of the ink. There's a lot of ink in that ribbon, and it doesn't evaporate. So it would take decades for that ink to go dry. So to reverse it, here's a manual reverse right here. Now some ribbons do auto reverse, and so you'll have to look, and you probably know whether or not yours is an auto reverse. It'll have a little metal grommet, little metal circle at the very end of the spool, and that kind of triggers the reverse mechanism. But if it doesn't have that, then your manual reverse is right here. If you're typing away and all of a sudden your typewriter stops, or the font gets really faint, or it gets difficult to type, stop right away and just double check to see if your ribbon needs to be reversed. It'll solve a lot of problems. Okay, over here you'll see your color selector. There's black and then red. When you change your ribbon, you get ink everywhere, and I just got it all over this lever. So black and red, LMH, that just determines the tension, how hard these type bars are gonna strike your paper. So just adjust it to your liking. Tab is over here. So not every typewriter has a tab, but some of them do. I don't know if this one has one set. There we go. It's got a set, so I'm gonna clear that. Or to do an all clear, you kind of hold this down and release the carriage. And I like to go back and forth a couple times. That usually clears the tab. There you go, it's all clear. And then to set it, find a place where you want it, hit set. There you go. And that's how you use your 1972 Smith Corona Sterling. Now, if you have one that's maybe not 72, but it's 69 or 74 or something like that, it's probably still going to operate exactly the same. You can tell by looking at your typewriter if it looks similar to this one, then this video should still be able to help you a lot. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, tell your friends about us, and check us out every Saturday. We have new vintage typewriter listings. Thanks for watching.